Guys, please check your audio and video settings. Please check your audio and video settings. YouTube will be started, don't worry. YouTube live will be started, don't worry. Yes. The people who just joined today, don't worry. Last two classes are there in Naresh IT YouTube channel. You can go and watch them. You can go and watch them. Harkrishna sir voice is coming. I don't think so. I don't think so. Please be careful. Fine. Yes. The people who missed last two classes, please go to Naresh IT YouTube channel. Naresh IT YouTube channel. And if you observe very carefully, okay. So if we scroll like this, okay. See, boss, Hibernate session 2, Hibernate session 1. We just completed 2 sessions, boss. Session 1 is available here for 1 hour 36 minutes. Session 2 is available here for what? 1 hour 50 minutes. And you can see all the titles and other things properly. There, na? Right. Fine. So, anyhow, I will revise also. First, watch them. You will get crystal clear clarity. Still, I have not launched Hibernate officially. It takes time to launch Hibernate. I'm preparing background to launch Hibernate. Shall we revise what we discussed in yesterday's class? Right. Okay, boss. Other day, we have come to one conclusion. Java application uses IO stream to interact with the flat files. Java application uses what? JDBC, comma OR mapping to interact with what? RDBMS database software, which are very popular database software, Oracle, MySQL, and etc. Java application uses JDBC plus SQLJ to work with what? To interact with object database software. Okay? Object database software. Object database software. What here? Object database software. Are you getting my point there? To interact with object database software. Right. Fine. I'm revising what happened in last session. Those who missed first two classes, just know I have shown YouTube channel. First two videos are available. Hibernate session 1, session 2. Both are available. Please go and watch. The people who missed last two classes, please go and watch. Everyone getting my point? Yes. Please come back. Please come back. So object database software, because they have capability of holding objects itself directly. We ruled out files. Why? Because files as persistent store not great in medium scale and large scale applications. Yes. They are not at all great. They are having their own limitations. Okay, no security, no constraint, no SQL support. Okay, getting multiple records with multiple condition is complex. Update and delete operation is very complex. No relationship. So many issues are there. That's the reason. Okay, working with flat files is ruled out. Only in small application that is good. In medium and large scale application that is ruled out. Next, we discussed about object database software. Object database software or object oriented database software. What happened? I have a class. For that class, I created object. That object can be stored directly as a DB table column value. Directly as student class object, I can keep directly in DB table column. That is the specialty of object database software. Why they have come, sir? See, boss, people stopped working with the procedure-oriented programming languages long time back. Everyone is working with object-oriented programming languages. In these programming languages, everything comes as what? Object, 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 object. In files, we cannot store object directly. In relational database software, we cannot store objects directly. Only object data you convert into simple values and you have to store. Are you getting my point there? I have to. Procedure-oriented programming languages are worst fellow. C language, Fortran, all these are procedure-oriented programming languages. Please focus. Don't divert your brain here and there, which are outdated. C language, basic language, COBOL language, all these are procedure oriented programming languages which are outdated long back. Right now, entire world is running with what? Object oriented programming languages, where everything comes in the form of objects. Object database softwares are given to store those objects directly as table column values. Sir, great na? Yes, great. Great, but some limitations are there. Limitation number one. Okay, advantages. Let us try to understand the advantages. Okay, we get object and we can store those objects directly. That's a good news. All code operation can be performed on the object. That's a good news. No need of any SQL because we can happily deal with objects in object oriented programming style. No need of writing any SQL queries. These are the advantages. Disadvantages. Okay, disadvantages. Okay, it does not allow to keep objects in relationship. Okay, one column value cannot have relationship with another column. Okay, while working with object database software. Next, suppose this object is created in Java. Okay, you should choose that object database software that supports Java. Suppose I have object database software that is built on the top of .NET. So I should create my software object using .NET environment only. Suppose my object is there in what? Java. I should choose that object database software that is compatible with Java. So that means again changing database software is very complex here. So database portability is not there. Database portability is not there. Okay. Against of normalization rule number one. What is normalization rule number one says here? Don't keep multiple values in a single column. Okay, you are keeping one object in a column. Object is having four values. Keeping four values in one column indirectly bad practice. That's the reason this is having problem. And it is not industry standard database software. Initially, people excited like anything, boss. But after seeing these limitation, and now world is full of relationships. Data is full of relationship, and it is not supporting relationship among the objects when they are stored in object-oriented database software. That's the reason. Okay, they have not performed well. They are outdated. What are the examples for object database software, sir? Okay, Wakanda, object to store, Wodaba, object. Okay, these are what? Object database software. They are outdated long back. They are outdated long back. In that process, I started talking about different types of database software: HDBMS, NDBMS, RDBMS, OODBMS. Okay, hierarchical database management system database software, network database management system database software, relational database management system database software. Okay, next, object oriented database management system database software. Okay, this is old. For a few days people thought it is going to do well, but this is also stopped doing well. Right now the only popular one is what? RDBMS. All developers of different category, okay, are familiar with what? RDBMS. But biggest problem with RDBMS database software is it cannot store objects. It can store only simple values. It can store simple values. Okay, fine. But very popular, everyone knows one or other relational database software. Either Oracle, MySQL, PostgreSQL, widely used database softwares are there. But they cannot store objects. Right. To talk with these RDBMS database software, we can use either JDBC or OR mapping. Object relational mapping. Object relational mapping is nothing but Hibernate. Come on. So not only Hibernate, there are many things to write OR mapping style persistence logic, but Hibernate is popular. So other day, okay, to talk to RDBMS database software, we have two options. One is JDBC, one is OR mapping. So we started understanding limitations of JDBC, so that we will get a reasons to work with OR mapping, so that we will get a reasons to work with Hibernate. I hope you are. I hope everyone caught the rhythm. Everyone caught the rhythm. The one who joined today, the one who are attending classes from last few days. I hope everyone got the rhythm. I hope everyone caught the rhythm. Are you getting my point there or not there? Fine. Yes, if your friends are not getting entry to this batch, ask them to watch Naresh IT YouTube channel for live streaming of this session. Maybe 10-15 seconds delay will be there, but you will get entire content. Super boss. So then we started talking limitations of what? JDBC to develop the persistence logic. Number one, JDBC persistence logic will be developed with the support of SQL queries. SQL queries are database software dependent queries. So JDBC persistence logic is database software dependent persistence logic. Understanding my point there? Database software dependent persistence logic. Are you understanding my point there? What is the problem, sir? Changing database software in the middle of the development, in the okay, changing database software in the middle of the development, middle of the protection is very complex process, because the persistence logic is database software dependent. That means JDBC code is not portable across the multiple database software. JDBC persistence logic is not portable across the multiple database softwares. Cool, boss. Okay. Next one. JDBC code is having a lot of boilerplate code here. You take a typical regular JDBC application. Loading of driver class will be there. Establishing connection with the database will be there. Statement object creation will be there. Sending and executing SQL query in database will be there. Getting results and processing results will be there. Handling exception will be there. Come on. Connection closing also will be there. What will be there? Connection closing. Okay. These three are common logic every JDBC application contains. These two are common logics. But these logics dealing with queries and other stuff, these logics will change application to application. But these common logics will repeat across the multiple application, JDBC application, either with no changes or with minor changes. Either with no changes or with what? Minor changes. Okay, that code is called boilerplate code. What code here? Boilerplate code. The code that repeats across the multiple application, either with no changes or with minor changes, is called boilerplate code. These are common logic. Common logics are acting as what? Boilerplate code over here. Everyone got the point there or not there? So that means there is a boilerplate code here. Next one here. JDBC code throws SQL exception as a checked exception. Mandatory to handle, and exception propagation is not possible if caller decided to catch and handle the exception. Sometimes we want to propagate exception from one class to another class. But in first class itself, if you use a try catch block to catch and handle the exception, it cannot be propagated to another class. If it is not propagated to another class will not know what problem is raised in the other class on whom it has called the method, First of all, everyone answer me. In real time, project contains one class or lot of classes? All these are independent classes are having dependency here. Everyone, lot of classes, all these are classes having dependency. So problem raised in one class should know it's a dependent class or not. Yes or no? Na? So that needs a problem propagation or not. No, by using try catch block, if you suppress the exception, if you catch and handle exception, if you suppress the exception, how it will be propagated to next level? Come on, my dears. How it will be propagated to next level? Understanding my statement there or not? So that's the reason SQL exception is checked exception that will pressurize to catch and handle. At the same time, exception propagation is not possible if end-use programmer decided to catch and handle the exception. Next one. In JDBC API, for all problems, only one exception. What is that? SQL exception. You are not establishing connection with the database, SQL exception. Query is having syntactical mistakes, SQL exception. Statement object not created properly, SQL exception. Result set object not generated properly, SQL exception. Connection is not closed properly, SQL exception. Come on. Any problem, SQL exception. What is the meaning of that? We don't have detailed exception classes. For different problems, we don't have different exception classes are not there. One exception for all problem is not going to work out. It is really not going to work out. Understanding my point there? Yes. Okay. While closing JDBC objects, including JDBC connection object, we need to analyze a lot. We need to analyze a lot. What is the meaning of that? We need to analyze a lot. Listen, I try to close at the end of the try. In the middle of the try, exception raised here. In the middle of the try, exception raised. Do you think control comes to end of the try? No. So closing at the end of the try is a wrong thought. Fine, great. Okay, na? I try to close in the catch blocks, but followed by try, I write one catch block or multiple catch block, multiple. So closing in multiple catch block is meaningless. Number one, meaningless. Okay. Number one, meaningless. Number two, exception is not raised in the try block. Exception is not raised in the try block. Come on. Then catch block executes a no. So closing JDBC object in catch block is having two problems. We have to close all JDBC objects in all catch blocks, multiple catch block. Number two, if exception is not raised, okay, exception is not raised, catch blocks will not execute, then connection objects and other JDBC objects will not be closed. Will not be closed. Sir, I will try to close at the end of the try and catch block. And writing same code for multiple times is a bad practice. Writing same code for multiple times is a bad practice. Come on. Then what should I do? Finally block is the better code. Yes. Finally block is the better code. I'll come to finally block in a moment. Closing JDBC objects at the end of try block. At the end of try block. Or in the catch blocks. Or in both places is bad practice. Is bad practice. Okay. Closing in finally block only for one time. Closing in finally block, okay, is a good practice. Yes, but while writing in what? Listen, while writing in what? Okay, finally block also you should show some maturity, boss. JDBC code. Catch block 1. Catch block 2. Like this multiple catch block. Finally block. I know. Sir, all close method throw checked exception. That's why I'm writing like this, sir. RS dot close. ST dot close statement. This is what con dot close. Nice. End of this catch. Some exception. Okay. End of the finally block. Listen. Closing like this also bad practice. Closing like this also bad practice. Why, sir? Why, sir? Listen carefully. If any problem raised in the RS dot close, exception is raised, control will go to catch block. That means we are not giving fair chance to close statement and connection. We are not giving fair chance to close what? Statement and connection. That means writing this kind of finally block also bad practice. Just writing finally block does not make everything great. This is also bad practice. Agree with me or not there? Everyone concentrate. Suppose while closing statement, some problem has come. Control goes to catch block. Come on. It is not giving any chance to close connection object. Agree with me or not there? So that's why writing finally block is good. But if you write like this, again bad. Again bad. Bad code. What is this? Bad code. Bad code. Because, okay, while closing one JDBC object, if exception is raised, if exception is raised. We are not giving exception is raised. The control goes to catch block. And we are not giving fair chance. We are not giving fair chance to close other JDBC objects. Then what is the best practice, sir? The best practice goes like this. What is the best practice, sir? The best practice goes like this. Finally, try. If RS not equal to null, RS dot close. End of the try. Catch some relevant exception. Right now, that does not matter for us. Similarly, you take another two try catch blocks. Try. What is this? ST not equal to null est. Next, con not equal to null, con dot close. Con not equal to null, con dot close. This is the best practice. This is the best practice. You know, this is the best practice. Good practice to close JDBC objects. Okay, good practice to close JDBC objects. Is not at all repeated code, Ra Babu. This is the best code. Chenmaya, please focus. You are diverting your brain. Listen carefully. Right. Suppose exception raised in RS dot while closing result set. Control comes to catch block. Yes. But we are giving fair chance to execute st dot close, con dot close. Here, exception raised in RS dot close goes to catch block, and these two lines will not execute. That means we are not giving fair chance for what? Statement object to close, connection object to close. Come on. But here that headache is not there. Did you observe that? Here that headache is not there. Yes, I will come to try with resource. Don't excite, concentrate. But in this place, exception raised while calling RS dot close. Control goes to this catch. But this try and the next try will get a fair chance to close statement object and connection object. In JDBC classes, I already covered. The people who don't know JDBC, try to understand what is what. Try to understand what is what, my dears. Anyhow, 6th onwards, I am going to start JDBC. Fine. Okay. So no, we should close. See, boss, without checking null, if we call close method, statement object not created, hasty holds null as a reference variable holds null. When null is there, if you call the method, you will get null pointer exception. You know that. Null pointer exception, you will get null pointer exception. Is that clear? That's why better to check for null before calling such important methods. To avoid null pointer exception, better to check for null. Check for null before calling methods on reference variable. That's a great practice. This checking for not null will avoid null pointer exception. First of all, let me ask one question. RS, ST, con, they are dynamically created object or statically created object? Dynamically created object. When you call one method, that one method will do a number of things, then returns the object. So those methods may fail the object creation. Driver manager dot get connection, wrong URL, may fail to create connection object. Con dot create statement, may fail to create statement object. That time ST con RS will hold what? Null. When null are there, if we call close method, there is a possibility of getting null pointer exception or not. There is a possibility of getting null pointer exception or not. That's why to avoid that, better to check for null before calling important methods on the objects. Got it? I think some people who are not my JDBC student, they are getting these doubts, because in our regular JDBC classes, we play with this not null like anything. Everyone is aware of that one or not there? Super boss. Now focus, focus. Or one more option. Try with resource. From Java 7 onwards, try with resource is there. But in JDBC from Java 8 onwards, we can work with the try with resource also, right? So you need not to close the objects. At the end of the try block, they will be closed automatically. At the end of the try block, they will be closed automatically. That is also good practice. That is also good practice. But one problem is there if you go for try with resource. We cannot do transaction management properly. Commit rollback methods are there. Na? If everything smooth, commit. If something wrong, roll back. Come on. Anything good, commit. Something wrong, roll back. That we cannot do. That's the reason whenever you want to do transaction management, try catch finally is better. Not what? Try with resource. Not at all what? Try with resource. Anyhow, right now, that is not our discussion. Right now, that is not our discussion. Everyone focus here. So now I am giving try with resource. If you use okay, boss. Okay, if you use try with resource, if you use try with resource for JDBC programming, for JDBC code, if you use try with resource, Mr. Subham Mukhya, check your internet connection. From my side, no issues are there. If you use try with resource for JDBC code, okay, the JDBC objects will be closed automatically at the end of try. At the end of try. At the end of try. That means we need not to close them manually. Okay, using finally block. Using finally block. Okay, using finally block. Let me give that code. Try connection con is equal to driver manager dot get connection some code flower bracket open. Try statement st is equal to con dot create statement. Super. Try result set rs is equal to st dot execute query. Select star from here. I will write a logic to close JDBC objects. Sorry, to process the result set object. Logic to process the result set object. Logic to process the result set object. Okay. End of the try 3. Try 3. Okay, fine. End of the try 2. End of the try 1. For all tries, we can write same thing. Catch dot dot dot. You can write multiple catch blocks, not a issue. Catch dot dot dot. Everyone got the clarity there or not there? Super. See, boss, at the end of the third try here, closed here. Here automatically result set is closed because result set is opened here, no, it is closed here. This try, this try. Here statement object is automatically closed. Here this try, this try. Here connection object is automatically closed. But one problem is there with the try with resource. We cannot do proper transaction management. That's why you cannot say closing JDBC objects in finally block is a bad practice. Maybe old practice, but not a bad practice. If you want to do transaction management, like by calling con dot commit, con dot rollback, still, what is that? Try with catch plus finally block is the better option. Okay, try with catch plus finally block is the better option. Are you understanding my point there? Okay, try with resource is good, but in some situation we cannot depend upon what? Try with resource. Okay, note. Okay, doing transaction management by calling con dot commit, comma, con dot rollback. Okay, is bit complex. Is bit complex in, okay, try with resource. I'm not saying impossible, but try with resource is what? Bit complex. If it is a try with catch with finally block, in the finally block, yes, we can happily do transaction management. I hope you are seeing all reasons one by one. I'm wantedly giving sample code to make you people aware of. The people who don't know JDBC, those are planning to learn parallelly JDBC. Don't be panic. Try to understand the concept. Technicalities you will get when you attend JDBC classes. Okay, don't afraid. You need not to have a strong JDBC knowledge to attend Hibernate. Basics are enough. Basics are enough. Okay, boss. F. JDBC result set objects are not. Result set objects are not serializable objects. Serializable objects. Are you getting my point there? That means we cannot send them over the network. We cannot send their data over the network directly. Why it is a big problem, sir? Yes, definitely big problem. Flipkart.com is talking to PayPal to do credit card payment. PayPal has talked to bank and other places. Some data has come from database, and that information it wants to send it to Flipkart.com. Between PayPal and Flipkart, network will be there or not? Yes. Let us assume PayPal is getting the data from database in the form of result set object. Can I send that result set object? Okay, data directly over the network in order to send to Flipkart.com here? No. Directly not possible. From result set, we have to gather the records. Come on. We have to gather the records. Again, we have to convert into simple values. Then we have to send them over the network. In this process, we have to take the support of collections, some Java beans, so many things support we have to take. So many things support you have to take. Are you understanding my statement here or not? So one thing is very clear. JDBC result set objects are not serializable objects. That means we cannot send their data over the network. If you want to send result set object records over the network, so many conversions we have to do. So many conversions we have to do. Okay. So those conversions are very complex. Okay. So, okay. See, boss, for Flipkart, I have given credit card details to Flipkart. I have given credit card detail. Flipkart is not going to use card directly. Flipkart will send those credit card details to PayPal, some Paytm application, Paytm, PayPal, Google Pay, whatever it is, because they are linked with the banks and other things. Okay, na? Right. Now PayPal has done payment. Okay, and generated some transaction ID. Okay, given some coupons for next purchase. It has collected all the information from database. It has collected information from database, means PayPal is having that information in result set object. Come on, result set object. Are you understanding my point there? Mr. Hurday, don't show your talent, Ra Babu. Why are you using big words now itself? Wait, please. Okay. Now listen. Okay. PayPal people have given what? Data collected from the database in the form of result set. Can I send that result set object over the network here? No. So what PayPal people should do? Should do lot of conversion in order to send that result set object data to the Flipkart.com. That means some complexity is involved or not involved. Definitely some complexity is involved or not involved. After hitting database, we will get good amount of data into result set object. Since result set object is not serializable object, there is no provision of sending the data over the network. Agree with me or not? So that means we need to convert result set object records to other values in order to send them over the network. In order to send them over the network. Super boss. Okay, now listen. Serializable. Listen, serializable, all are one and the same, boss. Okay, the process of converting object data into bits and bytes is called serialization. Okay, if object data is converted into bits and bytes, then only we can send them over the network or we can write them to file. So the process of converting object data into bits and bytes is called what? Serialization. But we cannot do serialization on every object. Serialization is possible only on those objects that are serializable. Objects become serializable when class of that object implements what? Serializable interface. When class of those objects implements what? Serializable interface. Are you understanding my statement there or not there? Listen carefully. The process of converting objects data into bits and bytes is called serialization. Okay, so these bits and bytes can be sent over the network or to the file or to the file. Okay, boss. Right. Serialization is possible only on serializable objects. Serializable objects. That nothing but the objects whose classes are implementing the classes are implementing java.io dot serializable interface. Java.io dot serializable interface. Come on, come on. Are you understanding my statement there or not there? Somehow result set object is not serializable because result set object class is not implementing what? Serializable interface directly or indirectly. So that we cannot send result set object data over the network. Over the network. So, but result set object will have big amounts of data. Come on, big amounts of data. If we cannot send that data over the network, it is really stupidity or not there. Really stupidity or not there. Are you getting my point there? Every object data we cannot send over the network, boss, because every object data is not going to be in the bits and bytes. Only serializable objects data can be converted into bits and bytes, so that those bits and bytes can be written over the network, can be written to file however we want. So JVM can convert object data into bits and bytes only when object is serializable. How does normal object become serializable object? When a class of the object implements what? Serializable interface. What interface? Serializable interface. See, boss, all are human beings. But since I am conducting the class, I will be called as faculty or not there? Come on. I'm so similarly, all are Java objects. But how JVM knows only this object data only I should convert into bits and bytes. Only this object data should be ready to send over the network by seeing whether that object is serializable or not. How does it knows whether object is serializable or not? It knows object is serializable or not. Come on. Okay, by seeing the implementation of serializable interface. See in this Zoom meeting, come on, nearly in this Zoom meeting, nearly 500 members are there. All are human beings, but I am a faculty. I am identified as faculty or identified as student. It's because I am conducting class. I got panelist privileges. My mic is audible to everyone. I am treated as a faculty. So that means I am having special identity because of my privileges are not there. The same story here. The same story here. Everyone convinced with me? Right. So that is not main point here. Result set objects are not serializable. That is the main point. Remaining all are background preparation stories. Okay, now? Right. So shall we get into the next level discussion now? Okay, boss. Java is object-oriented programming language. But we cannot use objects directly in JDBC persistence logic. Objects directly in JDBC persistence logic. That means we need to convert objects data into simple values in order to in order to use them in order to, okay, we need to convert object data into simple values. Yeah, in JDBC persistent, that means we need to convert objects data into simple values in order to use them in SQL queries as inputs, because SQL queries cannot take Java objects directly as input values. Directly as input values. Fine. I will take one non-technical example for this. You are having sweet shop, but owner of the sweet shop is diabetic patient. Look at his situation. Look at his situation. Is very famous for giving sweets to entire world, but he cannot taste his own sweets. He cannot eat his own seeds. He has to adjust with other food, right? Come on, my dear. Come on. Are you analyzing the point and problem here? Okay. Paradise Biryani is very popular in Hyderabad. Agree with me? Paradise Biryani is very popular in Hyderabad. Agree with me or not? Yes, very popular in Hyderabad. No doubt in that. But the owner of the Paradise is a vegetarian because of health issues. Vegetarian. Okay. Vegetarian because of what? Health issues. So he cannot taste his own biryani, though entire world appreciate his biryani. Yes, the owner of Paradise is a vegetarian because of health issues. Okay, the same thing here. The same thing here. We are working with Java. Mm. We are working with Java. Are you understanding my point there? In Java, everything is object. Everything is object. But we cannot use those objects in SQL queries as inputs. If you want to use object data in SQL queries, we have to convert them into simple values in order to use in objects. Very, very painful process are not there. Okay. That means being from Java, we cannot enjoy objects in what? JDBC programming, especially while developing SQL queries having inputs, we cannot take objects into what? Queries directly. We have to convert them into simple values, then we have to put into objects. I will give one small example, boss. I will give one small example. I have public class student, private into SNO, private string S name, private string SADD. Okay, let us assume some getter and setter methods are there. Let us assume some getter and setter methods are there. Let us assume 3-param constructor is also there. What is this? 3-param constructor is also there. Getter and setter methods are there. This is my JDBC code. Somehow I created student class object. Student st is equal to new student of 101 Raja. What is this? Hyderabad. I created student class object. Please concentrate. Okay. After that, Okay, don't worry about technicalities. The people who don't know JDBC, don't worry about technicalities. Prepared statement PS is equal to con dot prepare statement. Prepared statement PS is equal to con dot prepare statement. Got it or not there? Con dot prepare statement. Are some statement object creation. The people who don't know JDBC, don't break your head. Okay. Insert into student. See, boss, since these are JDBC drawback, the people who don't know JDBC might be feeling heavy. But it doesn't mean to attend Hibernate, you should have a complete knowledge of JDBC. I'm just trying to show some reasons why JDBC is bad. Okay, once you study JDBC, you will get to know everything. But it's not going to stop you to learn Hibernate. You can learn JDBC, Hibernate parallelly. Don't think much. Okay. I have taken query with 3 question mark. That means 3 input values. 3 question marks means 3 input values. And they are there in my object. Can I set object directly in the query? Can I set ST directly in the query? Can I write insert into student values ST? No. What should I do? From object, I should gather simple values. And those simple values I have to set as query parameters. That means I'm having objects, I'm getting objects, but I cannot use those objects directly in the JDBC code as what? Persistence logic inputs. This is biggest problem or not? This is biggest problem I am having or not there? I am the owner of the sweet shop. I cannot eat my own sweets. Let us assume I'm a Java faculty. So many people likes the way I inject subject. Let us assume my own cousin is not showing interest to learn Java. He is ready to become doctor. Then I will be taking very bad or not there. I will be feeling very bad or not there. Or they are preferring to learn some other technologies like what? .NET or something else. Then I will be feeling very sad or not there. I don't let them to do because I'll convince maximum to do. But still, I'm just taking for example. Example sake. I'm talking example sake, right? Okay. The same thing here. Listen, what is this? Into NO is equal to st dot get snO. Get it? String name is equal to st dot get sname. Okay, string address is equal to, I am converting into simple values. st dot get sadd. Then I am setting in as input values. Set into 1 comma no. This will go to first question mark. This no value will go to first question mark. ps dot set string 2 comma name. This will go to second question mark. ps dot set string 3 comma Hyderabad. This will go to third question mark. But okay, 3 comma address. You are right. You are right. 3 comma address. What's happening, boss? I am converting them into simple values or not there. Converting them into simple values are not there. So that is a real problem. Here st object data is converted into simple values in order to use in JDBC code. In order to use in JDBC code. This is another problem. Sir, object database software is solving this problem. Solving problem, but other drawbacks are there now, boss. Other drawbacks are there. Everyone enjoyed this point, understood this limitation. What do you say, boys? Con dot prepare statement. Con dot prepare statement. Yeah, some method here. That's not a issue now. Fine. The theory is very simple, boss. The theory is very simple. I have a objects, but I cannot put objects as input values in the query. I have to convert object data into simple values in order to set as query parameter values. That means we cannot use objects directly in the JDBC code as query input values. See, here I am having object, three values. Am I putting object as it is in the query? As it is in the query? No. I am converting object data into simple values in order to set it to the query. Did you realize that? Did you realize that? Come on. Yes, boss. Okay, fine. Next. GH. GH. There is no proper transaction management support. There is no proper transaction management support. I'm talking about all these things in JDBC only. Focus. What is transaction management? The process of executing logic by applying do everything or nothing principle is called transaction management. For example, transfer money operation you take. It's a combination of how many operations here? Two operations. Yes. One is withdraw amount from source account. Two is deposit account into destination. Deposit money into destination account. Okay, na? If withdraw fails, deposit should be failed. If deposit fails, withdraw should also be failed. Do everything or nothing. Do everything or nothing. Are you getting my point there? Super. Okay, boss. Student registration. Whenever student joined, his detail should be inserted in student table, also in course table. If insertion failed in course table, insertion in student table should be failed. If already done, should be rolled back. If insertion is failed in student table, okay, insertion should fail in course table. Already done should be rolled back. This is called executing sensitive logic by applying do everything or nothing principle. If you do everything, otherwise don't do anything. That is called do everything or nothing principle. Are you listening my point? Okay. When you are dealing with the sensitive logic, transaction management is very, very important. Okay. Transaction management is very, very important. The process of combining related operations into single unit and executing them by applying do everything or nothing principle is called transaction management. Is called what? Transaction management principle. Sorry. Is called transaction management. Example: transfer money with withdraw comma deposit operation. Withdraw comma deposit operation. Student registration with inserting record to Okay, student DB table. Okay, boss. Hmm. Inserting and inserting record to. Okay, inserting record to. Inserting record to course DB table. Inserting record to student DB table and inserting record to course DB table. All these are the examples. Fine. Right. Now listen. We have two types of transactions, boss. Two types of transaction managements. One is local transaction. Local transaction management. One is local transaction management. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Everyone concentrate, concentrate. One is local transaction management. What do you mean by local? They will happen on single database software. What here? All the operations of transaction management will happen on single database software. Okay, here all operations take place on single database software. Example, transfer money operation between two accounts of same bank. Between two accounts of same bank. Same bank means same database na boss. Source account is in Kotak Mahindra Bank. Destination account also Kotak Mahindra Bank. Nowadays banks are using centralized database. That means all accounts will be there in the same account, same bank. All accounts of bank will be there in the same database software. So now tell me, transfer money operation between two accounts of same bank, is nothing but local transaction management or not there? Okay, boss. B. Global transaction management. Technically, I will talk a lot. Global transaction management. Global transaction management. Okay. Here, okay, different operations. Here, different operation take place on different database softwares. On different database software. More than one database will be involved here. Okay, now transfer money operation between two accounts of two different banks. One is Kotak Mahindra Bank source account, destination bank is HDFC. Come on. Okay. That time what happens? What happened? When they are in two different banks, two databases are involved. That time applying do everything or nothing principle on more than one database software comes under global transaction management. What management? Global transaction management. Everyone convinced with me or not there? So what is this here? Example, transfer money operation between two accounts of two different database softwares. Two different database softwares. Okay, now tell me how many databases are involved here? More than one database software is involved. That's why global transaction management. It has to apply do everything on nothing principle on one database or more than one database or more than one. Okay, it has to apply do everything or nothing principle on one database or more than one local. Only on one database software. Convinced with me or not there? Come on. Are ATM to ATM, that does not matter. Both accounts are there in the same bank or different bank. That matters. ATM or mobile phone, that does not matter. Source and destination accounts are there in the same bank or different bank. Same database or different database. Same database means local. Different database means global. Okay. Sir, why are you shouting all these things? Array, JDBC supports. It's not, okay. JDBC supports local transaction management perfectly. But okay, global transaction management, there is no proper support. We can bring the effect of that, but we cannot perfectly implement what? Global transaction management. So final notice, JDBC gives good support for local transaction management. There is no proper support for what? Global transaction management. Everyone enjoyed my point there or not there? In JDBC, there is good support for local transaction management, but there is no proper, we may bring the effect but not perfect. There is no proper support for global transaction management. There is no proper support for global transaction management. So this is the problem. This is the problem. Are you understanding my point there? So it's not plop some limitation. It's a limitation. So perfectly it can do local transaction management, but it cannot do global transaction management having that much perfection. Some problems are there. Everyone, because you should have a reasons to tell to interviewer why, when JDBC is there, why are you going for Hibernate? Why are you going for war mapping? I hope you are able to convince yourself. Come on, my dears. Okay, boss. Now listen. JDBC supports only. JDBC supports only. JDBC supports only positional parameters in the query. In the SQL query. SQL query. Positional parameter means question mark symbol. Array, instead of writing input, we can keep question mark symbol. Okay. And it does not support named parameters. Named parameters. Name for each parameter. Sir, fine. What is the problem with the question mark symbols? Okay, na? What is the problem for Mr. Stravani Muppagani? Commit, rollback is what? Is what? Transaction management only, na? Okay, I am not saying JDBC does not support global transaction. There is no proper support. There is no proper support. Indirectly, you can bring the effect, but it is not going to be perfect. Don't get into technicality. Just try to understand the wording. Don't try to understand the technicality. Try to understand the wording. Because if I start talking technical, it's not going to end now. Okay. So it indirectly, that's what I'm saying. This is initial classes. That's why my intention is not to go more technicalities. I just want to tell what is concept. You should carry something out of the class. Oh, for these reasons, I have to plan to learn Hibernate. I'm preparing that background here. I hope you convince it with me. Come on. Fine. Now listen. Question marks here. Let us assume like this, I have a query. In this query, 20 question marks are there. While assigning values to those 20 question marks, if we get the confusion towards indexing, if we get the confusion towards what indexing, it will be problem or not there. Come on, because you have to count and you have to assign correct count for setting correct value. If count is missed here and there, come on, if count is missed here and there, indexing count is missed here and there, you'll be having problem or not? You'll be having problem or not? Come on. So that's why working, but it does not support named parameter. It supports only positional parameter. You observe? You observe. Insert into student values 1, 2, let us assume 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like this we have, boss. Like this we have. These are positional parameter. So while counting, there is a possibility of giving wrong indexes. While setting values, there is a possibility of giving wrong indexes. Come on, my dears. Come on. Suppose I have written like this. Insert into student values. Insert into student values. Colon number. Named parameter is syntax. JDBC no support. In other languages support is there. Colon number. Colon name is the syntax of named parameter. Are you understanding my point? Colon name is the name of the named parameter. Colon name. Colon address. Tell me, while setting values, are you going to confuse? Are you worried about index? Colon is. Colon average. Colon marks 1. Colon marks 2. Colon marks 3. Like this, the story is there. Now tell me, setting values to these 7 question mark by identifying their indexes is easier. Setting values to this one is easier. Setting values to this column number, column name is easy. Are you understanding my point there? Are you understanding my point there? What's the syntax of the named parameter? Column name is the syntax of the named parameter. Column name is the syntax of each named parameter. Agree with me or not there? Here are my positional parameters. Here are my named parameters. But JDBC don't have support for named parameter. Hibernate, Spring, all these are there. All these are there. All these are there. Fine. Are syntax ra babu. Sumit Ratwal. Don't question the syntax. Colon is the syntax to tell that name. To tell that name. If nothing is there, it may be treated as a query content na babu. If nothing is there, it may treat that column names are query content, right? To tell that it is not query content, it is named parameter. To differentiate this one from what? Other SQL keywords. To differentiate this one from what? Column input values. To differentiate them from SQL syntax, they have given colon. Colon is the syntax. See, boss, because of question mark, we are feeling parameter. But there should be some sign to feel these are parameters, not the SQL keywords, not the column names, not the table names. There should be something to differentiate them from other things are not there. That is colon name. Colon name is the syntax. Mr. Sumit, I hope you got your answer. It's the syntax to tell that it is not SQL keyword, to tell that it is not table name, column name, to tell that it is a parameter. It should start with colon. It should start with colon. Why flower bracket? Why semicolon? Why means that's the syntax. We cannot question the syntax, right? But every syntax tells something. Semicolon indicates end of the instruction. Open flower bracket indicates start of the definition. Come on. We don't question syntax. We follow the syntax. to tell that it is not a SQL keyword, it is not column name, it is not table name. You should take it as what? Parameter name. This colon is there. Fine, yeah. Next, strong SQL knowledge is required. Strong SQL knowledge is required to work with JDBC. Strong SQL knowledge is required to work with JDBC code. Strong SQL knowledge is required to work with JDBC code. Yes, I am giving so many reasons, Ra, because I am analyzing means I must say a number of reasons. While developing persistence logics, in JDBC, okay, we cannot enjoy inheritance okay, we cannot enjoy, yes, while developing persistence logic. Yes, I am coming to okay. So our positional parameters are bad, sir. Nowadays everyone is using named parameter. They are bad, that's why use named parameter, not when to use, when not to use. Always prefer using named parameter, but somehow in JDBC there is no support for named parameters. Is that clear? Okay. While developing persistence logic in JDBC, we cannot enjoy inheritance, polymorphism, composition, and etc. features of oops because JDBC does not support to use, does not allow to use, allows to use objects as input values. Objects as input values in the SQL query. In the SQL query. Someone is asking what is composition. In a class A, if we create class B object, that is called composition. In class A, if we create class B object, that is called composition. Okay? Come on. Show some maturity. Fine. Listen. Can I take objects as inputs in JDBC SQL queries? No. So when I cannot take objects as input values, that means while creating input values for the application, we cannot involve object. That means we cannot see classes inheritance. We cannot enjoy those classes getting polymorphism benefit. We cannot see those classes having what? Composition benefit. Indirectly, all object-oriented programming principles we are losing while creating inputs for SQL queries or not. Think logically. This point is very much related to this point only. I point and K point quite related. Why? We cannot take objects as inputs. So that means we cannot enjoy OOPS principles because we cannot take objects as inputs. Nah, can we enjoy OOPS principles really? Can we enjoy OOPS principles really? So that's one more problem. Once again, same. I'm an object-oriented programmer. I'm writing code in object-oriented programming language called Java. I'm enjoying objects, but while providing inputs for JDBC, SQL queries. I cannot really create objects. If I create objects also, I cannot see them dealing with what? Inheritance, composition, and what? Polymorphism. Why? Because there is no question of keeping objects as input values in what? JDBC SQL queries. Sir, why are you highlighting it? This can be done in Hibernate, because Hibernate supports objects-based persistence logic. Na? To tell that they're possible, I am trying to say here not possible. Here my main focus is not to blame JDBC, because JDBC does not support objects as input. No doubt it does not support other features related to those objects. But I want to say these are possible in Hibernate. That's why I'm highlighting here. That's why I'm highlighting here. Everyone convinced with me. Come on. Yeah. If you allow me another 3 days also, I can teach, boss. Those many drawbacks are there in JDBC. Fine. Okay. But I'm not going into more technical details. I'm just trying to tell what is what. At least you should tell to interviewer. Fine. Okay. Fine, boss. No, lot of technical things. Interviewer, these enough. These points are enough. You just speak 5 to 10 minutes these points. After listening 5 points, we will go to next question. No, still is waiting to see. Yeah, these many disadvantages are there JDBC. Then why are you writing JDBC code? You know, Hibernate is also having drawbacks. Core Java is also having drawbacks. C language is also having drawbacks. Are you not going to learn them? Array, advantages are 100, disadvantages are 10. So by keeping disadvantages, you are not going to enjoy advantages. If you go to road, if you go onto the road for driving vehicle, okay, you will reach destination very fastly because you are driving vehicle on the road. But there is a possibility of meeting with accident also. There is a possibility of what? Meeting accident also. By keeping accident in mind, you will never go to road. You never travel in the bus. You never travel in the flight. Yes, no. So by seeing 1% side effect, are you going to lose 99% benefits? Come on, yaar. I want to motivate you people. JDBC is great, but some limitations are there. To even overcome these limitations, we have something else that is called Hibernate, which allows us to develop OR mapping persistence logic development. That is my intention here. Okay, na? Fine. Let's live. I'm motivating you people. Arre Babu, observe these many problems are there, and we can solve most of these problems using what? Hibernate. JDBC does not support. Okay, versioning. Versioning and timestamp features. Timestamp features as built-in features. As built-in features. That means we need to write lots of lines of code, to implement those features. Sir, what are those features, sir? Why they are so important? Versioning keeps track of how many times the record is modified. It will keep track of how many times the record is modified implicitly. You need not to do explicitly. It has to internally do it. But in JDBC, we should write those logic explicitly. If you explicitly write the logic, then only it will keep track of. Otherwise, it will not keep track of. Keeps track of how many time record is modified. First insertion 1, on that updation 2, on that updation 3, on that updation one more time 4, any column updation 5, again updation 6, again updation 6. Every modification it will keep track, but we should write that logic manually. Are you understanding my point? Versioning feature. So, but in Hibernate kind of framework, you just add one to annotation, add one to XML tag. Hibernate internally start keeping track of how many time object is modified. You need not to do anything. Whenever you want, you can get the count also. But in JDBC, we should write lot of logic manually, and big database concepts we have to use. Then timestamping. Timestamping keeps track of when record is inserted, and lastly modified. See boss, it will give count, it will give date and time. Keeps track of when record is inserted and lastly modified. Okay, date comma time values. It will remember date and time of when record is inserted. It will remember date and time of when that record is lastly modified. And you have gone to stock market, boss. First, we will check when that stock is listed in the stock market, when that share is listed into the stock market. That means when record is created. When it is lastly modified, when its price is lastly changed. That also we observe. See in Hibernate, okay, by using small configuration, okay, time of record insertion, time of last modification will be kept tracked by Hibernate automatically. Only thing is 1-2 places, 1-2 configurations you have to do, 1-2 annotations you have to add. But if it is JDBC, we should write lot of code manually to achieve this. We should write lot of code manually to achieve this. Are you getting my point there or not? Convinced or not? Framework make life simple. Hibernate makes life simple. You just ask, it will give. You need not to write code from scratch level. You just configure, it will give. You just enable, it will take care of everything. Everything you need not to do from scratch level. And etc. To solve most of these problems. If not all problem, most of these problem. Prefer writing persistence logic. Prefer writing persistence logic using OR mapping. Environment. That means, okay, what is OR mapping? We'll discuss. Okay, taking the support of Hibernate, IBTs, okay, okay, top link, Eclipse link, and etc. Okay, and etc. ORM frameworks or tools, and etc. ORM frameworks or tools. I think you understood this, but What is war mapping? In what way it is different from JDBC? How it will solve all the problems? Okay, why Hibernate is popular in war mapping? Lot of discussions are there. Okay, I think at least we got some background preparation to enter into Hibernate. Tell me, without teaching all the things, if I start explaining what is Hibernate, are you going to enjoy this much? Are you going to enjoy this much? In the last class of Hibernate also, you'll ask me question. Sir, JDBC is there now, why Hibernate? JDBC is there now, why Hibernate? Come on. So now you have a reasons for not using files. You have a reasons for not using object database softwares. You have a reasons for not using what? Okay, not using what? What is this? What is this? JDBC. JDBC. Okay, boss. So some people are asking me, Spring ORM is there now? Spring data is there or not? Not. Spring ORM, Spring data internally uses one or another ORM framework. ORM framework. Okay, now the people who are thinking about Spring ORM, Spring data, now shut your mouths, concentrate. They also internally uses one or other ORM frameworks. They are not any great thing. They also need the knowledge of what? One or other ORM framework. Spring JDBC is different. Okay. See, boss, I am going to teach Hibernate with JPA support. With JPA support. Why they named it as Hibernate? They should be named it as JDBC or advanced JDBC or JDBC with ORM. I will tell why they named. Technical reasons I will talk later. Can I join recent spring batch? Watch videos and join. Watch videos and join. What is war mapping? Tomorrow I am going to take it. Tomorrow I am going to take it. What is impedance mismatch? Is too technical. Okay, there are 5 problems between RDBMS and Java. They are called impedance mismatches. Mr. Manikanta, I think you are trying to show your technical knowledge in front of me. Wait for a few days. I am only going to cover those things. JPA, Java Persistence API. All ORM frameworks are given on the top of JPA. On the top of JVA. Okay, na? Tomorrow you will get clarity. Tomorrow you will get clarity. Please let me introduce war mapping. Then I will talk JPA. Then I will talk JPA. Okay, Sonika, please talk to Srikanth sir, who is our admin. Okay, he will address the problem. He will address your problem. Alternate for Edit Plus, Notepad Plus, but prefer using Eclipse only. How many free classes for Hibernate? No free classes, no demo classes. Initial classes are free classes. As long as they are not asking fee, it's a free class. Okay. Once they change the link, it's a paid batch. That's it. Fine. Spring batch registration is closed. Okay. Let me answer other questions. Normalization technique is covered. Yes, indirectly covered. Covered. Okay, fine. Sorry I was sick. I was absent for last spring Hibernate, but I watched Hibernate session 2 on YouTube. Yes, there. That's enough. Those who joined today, please watch last 2 sessions in the YouTube channel of Naresh IT. Sir, new spring batch, another 2 months. Hibernate, 75 to 80 sessions. Registration of any Google form required or not? Our people will provide, yes. Sir, not required. Mr. Rohit Babu, I will upload this document. You need not to take any screenshots, nothing. Lots of drawbacks are still why it came use without overcoming them. Everything will have a drawback when you look at from other angle. Please teach RESTful. I am ready to teach, but management should assign batch to me. Sir, Devanand Anand, we are going to cover nearly 7 to 8 design pattern in Hibernate class. Okay. Hibernate class, proxy design pattern, DAO factory. Okay, like this, multiple design patterns we are going to cover there. Multiple. When this Google form required, or when they ask for registration, then they will go for Google form. And how many sessions? 75 to 80 sessions are required. Servlet knowledge is optional to attend Spring and Hibernate. JDBC is required. Jira tool and Agile tool both are there in Naresh IT YouTube channel. What are design pattern? Best practices of programming are called design patterns. As of now, I'm not taking Java real-time project batch, okay? Because my slots are not free. Spring REST will not be covered in Spring classes. It's a part of, okay, web services and Spring microservices. In Spring, you'll be having knowledge up to Spring Boot and lot of other modules will be covered. Hibernate, please provide free batch. Talk to Srikanth sir. When you will start XML web services, please talk to Srikanth sir. Are you given real-time use cases for making big projects? Definitely. Every 10-15 days, we are going to develop one mini project by taking real-time scenarios only. Spring JDBC, Hibernate, Spring ORM are different. There is a small relation. In coming classes, you will be knowing it. Okay, thank you for liking my online classes. Design pattern, new batch, 1-2 months time it takes. First be busy here. Spring and Spring Boot microprocessors are same now. No, Spring is a separate course. Microservice is a separate course. Spring Boot will be covered in Spring course and also in microservices course. If you don't attend parallel classes for Spring, I need 120 sessions. To attend Spring and Hibernate, Core Java is the prerequisite. Okay, little bit JDBC knowledge is enough for Hibernate. I want to show 2 years gap as experience. What are the things? Okay, what are the things required? Core, advanced, Oracle, Spring, Hibernate mandatory. Web services will be added advantage. Agile video is there, but it is made as private. Very soon I am going to make it public. Don't worry. Very soon I am going to make it. I missed some class of Spring. Where can I get? Go to Naresh IT YouTube channel. Starting 6-7 classes are there. Okay, in the YouTube channel. And go to my playlist. There also 11-12 videos are there. Please watch. Yes, session on resume building will be conducted very soon. For sure, microservices, web services are required, are not required, optional. How much fee for Hibernate? 2,000 rupees. Jira video is public or private? I don't know what they made. If it is public, watch it. If not private, wait for some time until we make it public. See, boss, we want to entertain live classes. We don't want to entertain you people attending recorded classes. That's why please try to attend live classes. You wantedly make certain videos private in order to entertain live classes more. What is IOC? Other things available, those videos? Yes, available. All are available. You can see that. Basic knowledge of JDBC, clan JDBC. Okay, basic knowledge of JDBC is enough. If already in hybrid, I have to talk with Srikanth sir. Then also you have to talk with Srikanth sir only, because our office is closed. Maybe little operations are happening. Thank you for liking my teaching style. No problem. 2015 passed out. What should I do? You show 3 years gap, Mr. Hare Krishna. 3 years IT experience, 2 years irrelevant experience. Since you decided to show 3 years, Core, Advanced, Spring, Hibernate, microservices are compulsory. Core, Advanced, Spring, Hibernate, microservices are compulsory. Today all classes are there. Yes, there. If already then I have to talk with Srikant sir, then also you have to talk Srikant sir. For advanced Java, how many sessions are there? 100 sessions will be taken for advanced Java. See boss, video uploading, video recording is not there. It's a purely live classes. That's it. Purely live classes. Since some of the working professionals seeing offline will be help us in catching up. I'm sharing the classroom notes. Please go through that. Important videos anyhow I'm keeping in the YouTube channel. Everyday class in the YouTube channel is not possible. That is against of our policy. Thank you for conducting online classes. Thank you. Thank you. 4 o'clock Sarlet. 11:10 we have a Sarlet class. Today at 11:10 we have a servlet class. Advanced Java new batch 4 p.m. 6th July. 4 p.m. 6th July. Advanced Java new batch. What is the current batch code? NTHB 915. Still not created. Don't worry. 1 year gap as experience. Okay. Core Advanced Spring is enough. Hibernate will be added advantage. Core Advanced Spring is mandatory. Hibernate will be added advantage. Or if you learn Hibernate, you will get more calls per week. More calls per week. New Servlet batch takes time. 1.5 month takes time. 4 p.m. 1.5 month. Thank you for liking my subject and the way I'm injecting subject. Happy. I'm really happy. But come regularly, attend regularly. Thank you. I'm winding up the session. We'll meet tomorrow. Up to Wednesday. Session starts 9:10. 9:10. Okay. So after that session will be started sharp 9 o'clock. Thank you. Everyone, please go through JDBC limitation. Interviewer will ask this question like anything. Without knowing JDBC limitation, if you are attending Hibernate, he may not appreciate your efforts. Thank you. Have a nice time.